What's up everybody, my name is Tyler. Today we're going to be going over how to do a simple oil change on a vehicle. Then we're going to be covering everything from the tools required to proper filter installation, different types of filters. You're going to go over how to jack up a truck and what to do with the oil when you're finished. So in order to complete this task, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need a drain pan, we're going to need an oil filter wrench, a ratchet for the drain plug. Sometimes you need a ratchet with a certain type of bits in order to take off a splash guard. Obviously you need your filters, your oil, and then a jack and your jack stands, so that way it's nice and stable for whenever the truck is lifted up in the air. So there are several different kinds of filters. You have your traditional oil filter, you have a paper oil filter, and then you have your air filter. And diesel vehicles also come with a fuel filter, but you will oftentimes need a special wrench in order to take the housing or that specific filter off. And it's always a good idea to check with your local auto parts store or the dealership that your manufacturer makes for your vehicle. The traditional oil filter is usually located on the side or the bottom of your engine, and then these guys, the paper filters, are actually hidden inside of a housing unit, and we'll have a picture of those on display because this one has a typical oil filter, this one, so we will not be using this. This is for a different vehicle. Just you have it here so you guys know what you're looking for on your vehicle. Now, the proper way to jack up a vehicle is to find the metal frame and lift it up by that. You do not want to lift it up by the plastic parts here or by some of the other pieces. You want to lift it up by some metal structure. Sometimes it's an axle, but sometimes you also want to lift it up by here because certain jacks will only latch onto this part and will not actually allow you to lift it up by the frame. So every case is a little bit different. This one, we're just going to jack it up right here behind the front tire. Zoom out a little bit. This is where our jack's located. So now that we have the splash guard removed, we now have access to the oil filter and the drain plug, which is located on the back side of this engine, which we'll get to in a second. But it is also not a bad idea to set the splash guard and the screws next to each other just in a pile so you don't lose them. But if we climb back here, we will see our drain plug, which is located right here at the bottom of the engine. So we will need a socket and a ratchet in order to remove that, along with our drain pan to catch the oil. Our old filter has just been removed, so now we're going to take the new filter, and if you have access to grease, just go ahead and take a smidge, just slowly apply grease to the O-ring. You don't want to go too crazy with it, but just enough so that way when you go to take it off the next time, it is also a good idea to take a little bit of your oil and pre-fill the filter. Not entirely necessary, but it is a good idea. Now, our old filter has been removed. New filter has been pre-filled with our oil that is usually indicated on the cap on the top of the motor or inside your owner's manual. But we're just going to spin it on. Again, remembering righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to loosen. And you just want to go a little bit past hand tight. So that's hand tight. And we take a wrench and we just give it another quarter turn. And that will ensure that next time we go to take it off, the heat from the motor does not make it melted to the surface. Now that we got the oil filter on, we're going to go ahead make our way back to the drain plug. We're going to break it loose with our ratchet and socket. Again, every drain plug's a little bit different. Sometimes you just need a ratchet. If this is indented and you just got 4 holes instead of a hexagon, then you'll just need either a 1/2 inch drive or a 3/8 drive ratchet. But I already broke this one loose, so we are going to just spin this freely. Again, reiterating that counterclockwise is to loosen and clockwise is to tighten. Make sure you get the oil inside of your drain pan. Now we're going to find our way back to the top of the motor, where we're going to remove the oil cap that will tell us what kind of motor oil we need. We have our filter right here, and we're going to begin filling up our motor. We're going to want to clean it out first. But our air filter is usually located in a box. It looks something like this. Some of them are triangled. They're not always shaped like that, but they usually have these little tabs. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3. Sometimes you need a screwdriver to pry those off because it's in a bad location. But you pop that off. Air filter is located right underneath here. Okay, so for this particular vehicle, in order to reset the oil life on your car, you're going to go through to settings. You're going to hit OK. It'll pull up a number of things. You're going to go to information, and they'll tell you auto start stop, tire pressure. We're already on oil life and we're at 11%. So we're going to just go ahead, hold that down. Oil life reset successful, and we're back at 100%. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Also, it is a good idea to go ahead and change your oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Newer vehicles oftentimes have a oil life monitor in there, and it'll tell you what percentage you're at, or it'll just tell you that you're almost due or due for an oil service.